Hello all, Tot here with a new video where I've been introduced to a new term for 2026 that I think may be the word or words of the year, honestly, or if not this century. 21st century. I'm not making that up actually. It's scary. Because I actually covered this topic on this video once before, on this channel once before, but I figured out this new term, which I did not make up. It's not original. I found out from other YouTubers and people mentioning it online. And it's very scary. It's very sad, but it's very true. Can you guess what the term is? The two words? I want you to think back. I'll give you some hints. I want you to think back to the last good movie. The last new movie you've watched, or new video game, or new book that wasn't a remake or a reimagining. And that's when it hit me. I can't really remember. I've seen some good ones in a while, but not the majority that weren't remakes. You see, it's very fascinating, this kind of catch-22 of social media. It lowered a lot of gatekeeping and barriers, but that means if you take one thing out, you have to add more to another system. And I believe reach is now the biggest thing, which I'm trying to make you more upload stuff. But anyway, the term to not be any more opaque or vague is nostalgia laundering. Nostalgia laundering. Can't talk to him, I'm sorry. And it's very scary, as I've mentioned. Nostalgia laundering means people are holding your childhood, your nostalgia, your, rose tinted glasses hostage. And I see that happen a lot. And I have also fallen into this trap where I've literally said I think my childhood, or something around those lines, was objectively better due to the quality of entertainment. But then I thought to myself, is that really true? Again, lots of remakes and stuff. Lots of questionable entertainment during my formative years. Don't want to go in it here, but I got some beef with some movies. And that's normal, I guess. But anyway, nostalgia is one heck of a drug, to say the least. It makes us remember. It transports us back to a time when things were simpler and easier. And I don't know. And also nostalgia also comes up with two very powerful mental gymnastic tricks. And they're very powerful. They're very detrimental to having new things and learning. Those two, or the normalcy bias, where everything's normal is always normal. It's nothing wrong with that. And also the survivorship bias, or you lived it, you were there, it wasn't that bad. Which I don't think I could compare my childhood to somebody from the Great Depression for very obvious reasons. Just saying. But the idea that your time was better, I think, is a generational curse. Okay? Older people think their time was better, but I've seen statistics, findings that said completely differently. And I think this nostalgia laundering also is leading to the epidemic of expectations. Because let's say you watched a movie 20 years ago and you're going to watch its remake now. Is it possible to exceed or be just as good as your original in your mind? Like, is it going to make you point holes in the older one? You know, they try to fix or make up. You know what I mean? Like, you can't win. This comparison of periods, you'll always. People have a very powerful ability to find things wrong. Slightest things wrong. You can literally give somebody the world and they be mad the sky is blue, you know? Just how it is. There's never lifelong happiness. There's brief spurts. Mental states can change quite frequently. But anyway, back to the idea at hand. I actually felt this not too unrecently. It was a couple years ago. I was at my house and I was watching a movie I got from my best friend. Before you ask, is Digimon Tri. It was the newest one to me. I stopped watching after season 6 for Digimon, for anybody who cares. Still love it though. And I remember watching it where the kids are older. Teenagers now. They were children, the original. They've grown older. They've got a little more mature, I guess. And I don't know. It did a really good job of, I guess, highlighting the humor and the horror of there being Digimon, or, you know, highlighting it. Because can you imagine being a child and facing some giant parrot? I mean, literally happened in the Digimon movie. But anyway, Digimon Tri, they had this part throughout the first movie, this little thread where Taichi didn't want to summon Omnimon. Now, I'm not going to go too with this, but let's just say that's the ace in the hole. You know, there's Digimon evolutions. This is their Mega, okay? Omnimon is the final straw. It's the last cannon. It is the ace. Okay? You see Omnimon, he usually wins. Just saying. But anyway, and near the end of the movie, I think Tai comes around to thinking, when all the other Digidestined have been beat up, the new Digidestined is being harassed by this other Digimon. It's when it finally sinks in that he's got to let this happen. He can't control it. And then Agumon, his Digimon, and Matt, his buddy, that's the guy, that's his best friend with Gabumon, his Digimon, have this little montage where they keep digivolving from Rookie, Champion, Ultimate to Mega to Fusion, of widely held trope in anime. And I saw him, along with this really awesome music too, and I saw him chromed out, a sword for one arm and a freaking cannon for the other. And I felt something. I did. I did miss when I first saw that movie. I did miss where I could go watch Digimon. There wouldn't be a lot of dumb stuff in it, you know, and I had time. And that was very powerful. I think that was one of the very few times that I have felt nostalgia grip me and not let go so tightly around my heart. Almost makes you want to stop the beat, just knowing how perfect it is. But that's not what we live in. I'm always trying to create new things. I think that's the whole problem now. A lot of people expect this other thing to be good as the old thing, when we'd be better off distinctly making them their separate, you know, entities or properties, aside having the same name or being on the same thing, being a different version. Like, this is quite possible, you know. So yeah. Sorry. Gotta exit that out. So yes, I can understand that. I know we did this to ourselves and we should learn to think differently and be more creative. It's a human function. We need it. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Ranty as it may be, I'd like to talk more on it. But thank you, and have a nice day. Bye.